The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi children, today I am going to begin the session by saying about commitment. To make positive change requires lasting commitment. Lasting commitment requires measurable targets. Measurable targets require detailed action plan. Detailed action plan requires a goal you desire. Desire requires a change in your life which should be positive, and the option for the change in your life requires work. Therefore, taking responsibilities to work is a commitment, as we all know that commitment is what transforms promise into reality. So my dear children, always be committed to your work and be positive in your life. By saying this, I move on to the next session, and in the next session I am going to begin by doing the recap of the previous class. In the previous class we understood that body is having its own natural defense mechanism to prevent the entry of pathogen, and there we understood what is defense, and later on we understood about the defense mechanism in our body, where we came to know that body coverings and secretions are taking place, as well as body fluids are there which is helping in the defense mechanism of the body. In the case of body covering and secretion, we understood skin is playing an important role, which is having three layers: epidermis, sebaceous gland and sweat gland, where these three layers are playing an important role in the defense mechanism. Later on we understood about the mucous membrane is also a protective covering, where it is trapping the pathogen and helping to destroy the pathogen. Then we understood about the other parts of the body which is helping in defense mechanism, and they are ear, mouth, then eye as well as stomach. And later on we came to know about body fluid and how it is helping in the defense mechanism. As we know that body fluids are blood and lymph, both are playing an important role in the defense mechanism. In the case of blood, again we understood it is playing an important role in the defense, and there are different types of WBC which is doing the defense action, so that the body is being prevented by the entry of germs. And then we came to know that inflammatory response are also playing an important role in the defense mechanism, and we came to know what is inflammatory response. And in the case of illustration 5.4, we understood what is inflammatory response, and later on we understood about phagocytosis, which is a process of engulfing and destroying the germs, and here the cells that are engaged in this process are called phagocytes. And WBC, especially monocytes and neutrophil, are phagocytes which are doing phagocytosis. Then we understood the illustration related to phagocytosis, where neutrophil cell or monocyte cell is playing an important role in destroying the germs which are entering into the body. Then we came to know about blood clotting is also a defense mechanism, and how the blood clotting is taking place we understood from the illustration 5.6, where in the wound area, tissues and platelets are present which will be degenerating to form the enzyme thromboplastin, and thromboplastin, calcium and vitamin K is helping in the changing of prothrombin which is present in plasma into thrombin, and thrombin is helping to convert fibrinogen which is a soluble protein into insoluble fibrin fibers, and in the fibrin fibers which are the network, thread like network, in that RBC and platelets are getting trapped, and in this manner blood clotting is taking place. That also we understood in the previous class, isn't it my dear children? So, till there we understood about the defense taking place in the body, and then it has been said that as blood is clotting, the process of healing of wound begins. We know that when the blood is being clotted, healing process will be taking place, isn't it? And again we can say it is the stage after inflammatory response and blood clotting. Healing of wound is a stage after blood clotting and inflammatory response, because when a wound is taking place, after that inflammatory response will be taking place which is a defense mechanism, and later on blood, if it is been oozing out from the wound, there the blood clotting process will be taking place, and later on healing of wound is taking place. Now, in the case of healing of wound, there are two ways through which the wound can be healed up. The first way is that when a wound occurs, new similar tissues are formed in place of tissues damaged or lost by the wound. In such situation, the wound scar does not remain. In the first case, it has been said that when a wound is taking place, that time if a new tissues are forming there in that wound place, surely what will happen? Wound scar does not remain there. We will not find any wound scar in that place if new tissues are coming and covering that wound. And the second option, it has been said that when new similar tissues cannot be formed, the connective tissue heals the wound. In such situation, the wound scar remains. If new tissues are not forming in the wound area, surely what will happen? Connective tissues will be forming and it will be healing the wound. But if connective tissues are forming and healing the wound, surely scar will be seen there in the wound area. Okay, my dear children. So, this is how healing of wound is taking place. So, I can say that again, healing of wound is taking place in two ways. The first way, it has been said that if new tissues are formed there, no scar will be seen there. And in the second way of healing of the wound, it has been said that if no new tissues are formed there, surely connective tissue will be formed in the wound site and the healing will be taking place there, but scar will be remaining there. A mark will be seen there in the second option. So, that is how healing of wound is taking place. And later on it is being said that a strong defense system, if it is there, surely it will accelerate the process of wound healing and reduces the chances of infection. If we are having a strong immune system in our body, if wound is taking place, fastly recovery will be taking place and there will not be any chance of infection. Okay, this is how healing process is taking place. Later on, the next one is related to the fever, which is also a defense mechanism. We know that our body temperature is 37 degree Celsius or 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. This is important. And what is fever? Fever is a condition when the body temperature rises above the normal temperature. We are having a normal temperature of 98 degree Fahrenheit or 37 degree Celsius. Above that, if the temperature increases in the body, it is fever. So, fever is a condition. Okay. And next we can see that it has been said that is it a disease or a symptom, whether fever is a disease or a symptom. So, we can see the flow chart through which we will be able to understand whether fever is a disease or a symptom. So, we can see the flow chart related to the fever. So, here you can see, my dear children, what happens when the pathogen enters the body. The presence of toxins produced by the pathogen stimulates the WBC, isn't it? What it has been said, when the pathogen or the microorganisms, when they enter the body, that time it is producing certain toxins, and when the toxins are produced there inside the body, surely the WBC will be stimulated, and later on the chemical substances produced by the WBC raises the body temperature. It is being said that when the WBC is stimulated, automatically what will happen? WBC will be producing chemical substances, and due to that the body temperature increases, and as the body temperature increases, there will be reduction in the rate of multiplication of pathogen, and due to that what happens? There will be increase in the effect of phagocytosis, and we know that what is phagocytosis? It is a destruction of pathogen by the WBC. So, in this manner what happens? The pathogen is being destroyed, which is entering into the body. So, from this flow chart we can say that fever is not a disease, but it is a symptom. I think you would have understood about the fever as a defense mechanism. Okay, my dear children. Now, the next one, it has been said that till here we understood that these all are, that is body covering secretion, as well as we can say blood clotting, inflammatory response, phagocytosis, fever, all these are non-specific defense mechanism. And what are non-specific defense mechanism? It is a mechanism that protects us from all pathogens without considering their characteristic features. What is non-specific defense mechanism? Non-specific defense mechanism, it is a type of mechanism where it is protecting our body, isn't it? It is protecting our body from all pathogens. It may be any pathogen, it is not seeing which type of pathogen it is. Without seeing the type of pathogen, it is defending the pathogen and preventing the entry of pathogen or destroying it. In this manner, the body is being protected from the microorganisms or pathogen. That is non-specific defense mechanism. Now, it has been said that even though the body is defending in the form of non-specific defense mechanism, still there are pathogens or microorganisms which are overcoming all such kind of immune system and entering into the body. In that condition, the body is again moving to the second step of defense mechanism, and that is specific defense mechanism. So, we can say body is having two types of defense mechanism. One is non-specific defense mechanism and number two is specific defense mechanism. In the case of specific defense mechanism, we can say the microorganisms which are entering into the body or the pathogen which are entering into the body will be recognized, which type it is, what is its character or feature. Based on that thing, the defense mechanism will be taking place from the body. Such type of defense mechanism is called specific defense mechanism. So, here we can see, isn't it, lymphocytes are the blood cells that specifically identify and destroy pathogens that enter the body by overcoming the non-specific defense mechanism of the body. So, lymphocytes, they are the specific defense mechanism present in our body. They are known as the warriors. Here it has been said that what is antigen? It is important. Foreign bodies or pathogens that enter the body and stimulate the defense mechanism are called antigens. So, what are antigens? the foreign body or the pathogen. Foreign body means any dust, isn't it? Any dust or anything, pollen grain, dust, all these are foreign bodies including the pathogen. When they enter the body and when they are stimulating the defense mechanism, those foreign bodies or those pathogens are called antigens. Now next, what is specific defense we can see. The defense mechanism that identify the structure of each antigen and destroys it specifically is called specific defense. It is again important. So what is specific defense mechanism? It is a mechanism where it is able to identify, or it is identifying the features of the pathogen or the microorganism or the antigen or the foreign bodies, and based on that thing it will be destroying it specifically. That type of process is called specific defense. I think you would have understood about specific defense. Now it has been said that there are lymphocytes which are doing specific defense mechanism in our body, and lymphocytes are formed in the bone marrow. Lymphocytes, they are WBC and they are formed in the bone marrow, and they are of two types. Again it is important. Those lymphocytes that matures in the thymus gland are called T lymphocytes. So two types of lymphocytes are there, T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. So the lymphocyte which mature in the thymus gland are called T lymphocyte, and the lymphocyte that mature in the bone marrow are called B lymphocyte. Bone marrow, B for bone, so B lymphocyte. Thymus gland, T for thymus, so T lymphocyte. I think you would have understood the base pair relationship. Bone marrow is to B lymphocyte, thymus gland is to T lymphocyte. That is related to two types of lymphocytes, and we can see now how these two types of lymphocytes, they are able to defend the microorganism and preventing the body from the diseases. So number one is related to B lymphocyte, where you can see number one, it is producing certain proteins that act against antigens. What B lymphocyte is doing? It is producing certain types of proteins, and these proteins are called antibodies. They are called antibodies. So in the body it will produce certain antibodies, or we can say certain proteins, and these proteins will be acting against antigen. Now how these antibodies are destroying the pathogen we can see, and it is in three different ways. The antibodies able to destroy the pathogen in three different ways. Number one, destroy the bacteria by disintegrating their cell membrane. How it is destroying the bacteria? By totally collapsing the cell membrane of the bacteria. Number two, neutralize the toxin of the antigen. In the antigen we know that there are poisonous chemical substances present which are called toxin. It will be neutralized by the antibodies. So what will happen? The antigen will not be able to create any disease. And number three, destroy the pathogens by stimulating other WBC. What it is doing? It is destroying the pathogens. How it is destroying the pathogen? By activating the other WBC. So these are the three ways through which the antibodies which are produced by B lymphocytes are able to destroy the pathogen. This is again very important. Already I have written here important, isn't it? And next one is related to T lymphocyte. You can see here T lymphocytes, how they are able to do the defense mechanism. We can see it is again in three ways. Stimulates other defense cells of the body. What it is doing? It is stimulating the other defense cells in the body. And number two, it destroys the cells affected by virus. So it is able to, T lymphocytes are able to find out the pathogen such as virus, and it is able to destroy those virus cells. And number three, it is also able to destroy cancer cells. So, it is able to find out which are cancer cells, which are pathogens, and these cancer cells will be destroyed by T lymphocyte. That is why it is called specific defense mechanism. Okay. So, in this manner we can, this is also important, in this manner we can say B lymphocyte and T lymphocytes are the lymphocytes which are acting as a warrior and helping in defense mechanism in our body. Now, you can see here illustration related to blood and defense mechanism. This is again important. This is always used to come in the question paper already. It is given here, the defense mechanisms are raising body temperature, which is also called fever, production of antibodies, isn't it? Just now we have seen, and healing of wounds, that also a type of defense mechanism, and the other three you have to fill. Here you can fill phagocytosis, here you can fill blood clotting, and here you can fill inflammatory response. Phagocytosis, blood clotting, inflammatory response. So, in this manner defense mechanism is taking place in the body of an organism. I think you would have understood about the illustration 5.7, which is again very important, my dear children. Now, next one is related to lymph and defense. It has been said that lymph contain plenty of lymphocytes and they destroy the disease causing bacteria in lymph nodes and spleen, isn't it? Here you can see these are the lymph nodes and this is the spleen, okay, and this is the lymph duct which is present in throughout of our body. So, the lymph, it is having lot of lymphocytes, and these are able to destroy the disease causing bacteria present in the lymph node as well as in the spleen. So, in this manner lymph is also playing an important role in the defense mechanism. It is also important, my dear children, you have to study it. Now, next one is related to the immunization. It is been said that, is it possible to acquire immunity artificially? The answer is yes. Now, which are the methods? We can see what are the methods through which we will be able to acquire immunity artificially. As just now we studied that body itself is doing some defense mechanism to prevent the entry of germ as well as to destroy it. But in certain cases what will happen? The pathogens are there which are able to overcome all such kind of immune system present in the body, and these pathogens, they will start to create problem in the body. In such situation artificial immunization is very important, which is also called vaccination. So, immunization is the next topic. So, here you can see immunization is the artificial method to make the defense cell alert against the attack of pathogen. So, what is immunization? Artificial method which is making the defense cell alert so that it can be ready for the attack of pathogen. When the pathogen will be attacking, it will be very much active and it will be able to attack the pathogen, it can destroy the pathogen, that is immunization. And in the immunization we know that vaccines are there, isn't it? And what are vaccines? Vaccines are substances which are used for artificial immunization. These are substances which are used for artificial immunization, isn't it? For the preparation of antibodies, vaccines are used there, and these antibodies are helping to defend the entry of microorganisms. Before that you can see here related to Edward Jenner, how this vaccination came into existence. We can see Edward Jenner, he was an English doctor who started immunization in 1978, and how he started immunization we can see. He observed that people affected by cowpox escaped from the attack of smallpox, and how he injected the pus taken from a cowpox patient into the boy of an 8-year-old boy body. The boy was affected by cowpox and recovered. After 2 months, the pus taken from a smallpox patient was injected into the boy. he was not affected by smallpox, isn't it? So, in this manner the immunization program started and vaccination was started there. Now, next we can see related to the vaccination. These act as antigens that stimulate the defense mechanism of the body. It has been said that any one of the components from alive or dead or neutralized germs or neutralized toxins or cellular parts of the pathogens will be the component of each vaccine. We know that vaccines, they are the substances, isn't it? And they are used for artificial immunization. Now, it has been said the components for each vaccines is being taken from alive or dead pathogen or neutralized germs or neutralized toxins or the cellular parts of the pathogen. So, in this manner the vaccines are prepared. From the alive or dead pathogen the vaccine is prepared, or from the neutralized germs it is being prepared, or from the neutralized toxin or cellular parts of the pathogen it is being prepared. Now, it has been said that these components they act as antigens that stimulates the defense mechanism of the body. Now, the antibodies which are formed in the body against them, these antibodies will be retained in the body in the future and protect the body from the pathogen which are responsible for the same disease. So, as these components they are used as vaccine. What are vaccines? Vaccines are the substances which are producing antibodies, and what antibodies are doing? They are formed inside the body and they will be retained there in the body, and in the future they will be protecting the body from such type of pathogens which have caused disease previously and which will be causing the same disease. So, that is related to vaccine. I think you would have understood about it. It is very, very important, my dear children. In the indicator you can see significance of vaccination. What is the significance of vaccination? It is very, very important as it is acting as a defense mechanism, isn't it? You have to write about significance of vaccination. Next one, we understood the components of vaccination, that also you have to write. Then what is antigen and what is antibody, that also you have to write. Okay, the answer related to these three indicators you have to jot in your biology file. Now, next one is related to the table 5.2, where you have to complete related to the vaccine, the diseases. 2 vaccines I will be telling, and later the other 3 vaccines you have to complete. Related to BCG, this vaccine is used for the disease tuberculosis, and OPV is a vaccine which is used for polio. Now, the 3 other vaccines are there which you have to about which you have to write there related to the diseases. So, that is related to vaccine and diseases, and based on this thing you have to prepare a poster also, and you have to prepare the poster highlighting the importance of immunization. So, you have to prepare 3 posters related to the importance of immunization also in your biology notebook. So, you have to do this thing in your biology notebook, my dear children. Now, the next topic is related to the treatment, which is a final defense. As we understood that body is doing its own defense mechanism, later on what is happening? The pathogens are entering and again they are producing diseases, and then we understood that artificial immunization is important there in the form of vaccination, isn't it? In certain cases what will happen? There are treatments required in certain period of time and which will be a final defense mechanism. And here it is been said that what will happen if no treatment is taken when infected with diseases. If we are infected with diseases and we are thinking that body will be defending and body is not able to defend, what will happen? So, here it has been said treatment is the final defense, isn't it? Yes. And here we know that there are different methods for the treatment where we depend on number 1 Ayurveda, number 2 Siddha, number 3 Unani, number 4 naturopathy. Here you can write homeopathy and here you can write allopathy. Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, naturopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda. Allopathy. These are the different methods of treatment that we depend on, and we know that Ayurveda is the famous method of treatment which has emerged from India, isn't it? And in Ayurveda, plants and animal products are used as medicines. So that is related to different treatments or different methods of treatments. And in the case of these different methods of treatment, we know that homeopathy is the method of treatment proposed by the German doctor Samuel Hahnemann. That is important. Homeopathy is the method of treatment which is being proposed by the German doctor Samuel Hahnemann. And next one is related to allopathy, and here Hippocrates, he paved the way for modern medicine. So here base pair relationship you can expect. Homeopathy is to Samuel Hahnemann and modern medicine is to Hippocrates. That is, modern medicine is also called allopathy. Allopathy is to Hippocrates, homeopathy is to Samuel Hahnemann. So that is how this kind of treatment came into existence. Now we can see figure 5.4 where we can see diagnostic equipments are there which is needed there for diagnosing the patient before moving into the treatment. So these are the common diagnostic equipments which we can see in the clinic as well as in the hospitals. This one is stethoscope which is used for knowing the heartbeat, isn't it? And this one is the thermometer to measure the temperature of the body, and this one is the sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer which is used to measure the blood pressure, isn't it? So these are the common diagnostic tools which we can see in every clinic as well as in the hospitals. So again important, my dear children. Okay, now next one we can see, other than these diagnostic tools, now in the hospitals there are many more tools are there which are used for diagnosing the diseases, and we can see which are the equipments. So here you can see the table related to the equipment and the uses again, which is very important. Number 1 is electroencephalogram, which is also called EEG, to record electric waves in the brain. Electrocardiogram, which is also called ECG, to record electric waves in the heart muscles. Ultrasound scanner, to understand the structure of internal organs using ultrasonic sound waves. CT scanner, which is also called computed tomography scanner, to get three-dimensional visuals of internal organs with the help of computer using X-rays. And the last, MRI scanner, that is also called magnetic resonance imaging scanner, to get three-dimensional visuals of internal organs. So these are the equipments which are very important, which are used for these purposes. So the short form can come in the question paper where you have to elaborate the short form, isn't it? EEG, electroencephalogram, ECG, electrocardiogram, then CT scanner, computed tomography scanner, MRI scanner, magnetic resonance imaging scanner. So these are the new diagnostic tools which are used nowadays in the hospital to diagnose the patient for further treatment processes. I think you would have understood about the equipment and its uses. And later on also when we move to the doctor, if we are having any symptom or disease, surely we will be going to the doctor, and doctor will be prescribing laboratory test, isn't it? And this is the laboratory report where test detail, test result, normal value. You can see hemoglobin test, sometimes doctor will be prescribing number of WBC, number of RBC, number of platelets, isn't it? Keratin, all these, sugar level, all these used to be reported to the doctor when the doctor prescribes for the test. This is very, very important because this is also one of the diagnostic tool where the doctor is able to diagnose the patient before beginning the treatment. So, laboratory test is also one of the diagnostic tool which is able to diagnose the disease present in the patient, based on which the doctor will be able to do treatment, or it can proceed the further treatment in the patient. So, that is related to the diagnostic tool, and it is again important, my dear children. Now, again it is been said that advancement in technology have developed various areas of specializations in modern medicine. There are specializations in modern medicines taken place due to the advancement in the technology. So, we can identify the specializations in medicine and we can see which are the related areas. Number 1, cardiology. It is having the related area, treatment of heart. Now, the treatment of eye, here it is being related with the specialization called ophthalmology. Ophthalmology, treatment of eye. Neurology, treatment of brain and nervous disorders. And cancer treatment is related with the specialization oncology. Oncology is to cancer treatment. ENT is related to the treatment of ear, nose and throat. Ear, nose and throat. Treatment of ear, nose and throat is related to ENT. I think you would have understood about specialization and related area. Once again I will repeat: cardiology, treatment of heart. Treatment of eye is ophthalmology. Neurology is related to the treatment of brain as well as nervous disorder. Cancer treatment is related to oncology. ENT is related to the treatment of ear, nose and tongue, or we can say throat. Ear, nose and throat. So, that is related to the specialization and the related area. Again this is important, my dear children. Now, it has been said that when the treatment is proceeded by the doctor will be providing medicines, isn't it? So, what are medicines? Medicines are either substances extracted from plants, animals or microorganisms, or chemical substances synthesized in laboratories. So, what are medicines? Medicines are substances which are extracted from plants or animals or microorganisms or any substances which are synthesized in the laboratory. Now, among the medicines we know that antibiotics are also there, which will be prescribed by the doctor when the doctor diagnoses the disease in a patient. So, we should know what are antibiotics. Medicines that are extracted from microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, etc. and used to destroy bacteria are called antibiotics. So, what are antibiotics? These are the medicines which are produced from microorganisms like bacteria and fungi, and they are used to destroy bacteria. Okay, and they can be used externally as well as internally. That is related to antibiotics. And how the first antibiotic came into existence, we know about it. It was Alexander Fleming who first discovered antibiotics in 1928, and he accidentally discovered it from the fungus called Penicillium notatum, and the antibiotic which was discovered from Penicillium notatum was penicillin, isn't it? So, that was the first antibiotic which was being discovered by Alexander Fleming. Now, it has been said that when a doctor is prescribing antibiotics, surely that antibiotics will be prescribed for certain period of time. Later on again, if the disease or the symptoms are taking place, we should not eat that antibiotic. Why? Because it has been said that the regular use of antibiotics, if it is being taken, many side effects will be taking place. We can see which are those side effects. Number 1, it will develop immunity in pathogen against antibiotics. Number 1, it will develop immunity in pathogen against antibiotic. Number 2, it destroys useful bacteria in the body, isn't it? It destroys useful bacteria in the body. And number 3, it reduces the quantity of some vitamins in the body. So these are the 3 important side effects which are taking place if we are taking antibiotics again and again. Regular use, if it is been there, surely many side effects will be taking place there. This is very important. It used to ask in the question paper also, my dear children. Okay. And next thing, it is been said that antifungal medicines are there which are used to destroy fungus, and antiviral medicines are there which are used to control the virus. Now it has been asked, is it advisable to use antibiotics without the recommendation by a doctor? The answer is no, because these are the side effects which will be taking place by using or by having a regular use of antibiotics. Okay. So my dear children, I am winding the session here only, and in the next session we will be going with the next part. I think you would have understood the topics in this session, and if you are having any doubt related to any topics in this session, my dear children, don't hesitate to call me and clarify your doubts, and be always positive and be always happy. By saying this, I wind up the session. We will be meeting in the next session. Till then, take care.